Hi everyone, good day and especially to you, Mamel. By the way, my name is Josamedi Tagbo and I'm from Section C. So for today's video, we're going to discuss and answer all the given questions found in Lesson 5 and Lesson 6 with my partner, RJ Umboy. So without a further ado, let's jump to the video. And now, let's proceed to Lesson 6. Number 1. Based on the discussion, what is the difference between light-dependent and light-independent reaction? Photosynthesis takes place in two sequential stages, the light-dependent reaction and the light-independent reaction. In the light-independent reaction, energy from sunlight is absorbed by chlorophyll and that energy is converted into stored chemical energy. While in the light-independent reactions, the chemical energy harvested during the light-dependent reactions drives the assembly of the sugar molecules from carbon dioxide. Although the light-independent reactions do not use light as a reactant, they require the products of the light-dependent reactions to function. In addition, however, several enzymes of the light-independent reactions are activated by light. The light-dependent reactions utilize certain molecules to temporarily store the energy. These are referred to as the carriers. The energy carriers that moves energy from light-dependent reactions to light-independent reactions can be thought as a full because they are rich in energy. After the energy is released, the empty energy carriers return to the light-dependent reaction to obtain more energy. So here's the figure. Example illustrates the components inside the chloroplast where the light dependent and the light independent reactions takes place. So number 2, how are photons absorbed and utilized in the first stage of photosynthesis? A photon of light energy travels until it reaches a molecule of chlorophyll. The photon causes an electron in the chlorophyll to become excited. The energy given to the electron allows it to break free from an atom of chlorophyll molecule. Chlorophyll is therefore said to donate an electron. So now let's see the example picture. So to replace the electron in the chlorophyll, a molecule of water is split. This splitting releases an electron and results in the formation of oxygen and hydrogen ions in the thylakoid space. So technically, each breaking of a water molecule releases a pair of electrons and therefore can replace two donated electrons. Light energy is absorbed by a chlorophyll molecule is passed along the pathway to other chlorophyll molecules. The energy culminates in a molecule of chlorophyll found in the reaction center. The energy excites one of its electrons around the leaf. The molecule can be transferred to a nearby primary electron acceptor. A molecule of water splits to release an electron, which is needed to replace the one donated. Oxygen and hydrogen ions are also formed from splitting of water. The replacing of the electron enables chlorophyll to respond to another photon. The oxygen molecules produced as byproducts find their way to the surrounding environment. The hydrogen ions play critical roles in the remainder of a light-dependent reaction.
Good day, ma'am. As per continuation of Miss Jessa Tagbo, I am RJ Jumboy and I am answering the questions 3 and 4 in the performance task in lesson 6. Question number 3. Summarize the process of light reaction and Calvin cycle. Light reaction occur in the thylakoid of chloroplast. Here, special pigments absorb light energy and had also two photosystems, photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. Light reaction begins when light energy are received by photosystem 2, making electrons on it to be released, and after this, water molecules are broken down to replace the lost electrons in photosystem 2. Electrons that are released in photosystem 2 go through an electron transport chain And while electrons are moving, energy are also released, such as hydrogen atoms and oxygen atoms. Hydrogen atoms that are released accumulates inside of the thylakoids. And because of the high concentration of hydrogens in it, there is called an ATP synthase, an enzyme. Through ATP synthase, hydrogens move through it and add phosphate to ADP and thus creates ATP. As continuation, electrons that are released in photosystem 2 finally arrives in photosystem 1. Photosystem 1 receives another light energy and this excites electron again and are released again through PS1 into a second electron transport chain. Hydrogens that are released with electrons combine together with NADP and thus creates NADPH. So we're done in the light reactions. Let's go to the Calvin cycle. The Calvin cycle reaction occurs in the stroma of chloroplast. Calvin cycle uses the ATP and NADPH to convert CO2 into carbohydrates. Calvin cycle is divided into three phases: CO2 fixation, CO2 reduction, and regeneration of RABP. CO2 fixation basically captures CO2 from the atmosphere so it can be used for the reactions. And CO2 is attached in RABP, which is a 5-carbon molecule. We call this an enzyme called ribisco. When CO2 is attached to RABP, this results into a 6-carbon molecule, which then splits into 2 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate. Next is the process of turning CO2 into carbohydrates. This phase now is called the CO2 reduction. CO2 reduction begins where ATP from light reactions supply energy, specifically phosphate, to 2 molecules of phosphoglycerate, and then reduced by NADPH. The 2 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate then is reduced to form G3P or glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules, and every G3P that is produced is used to form glucose. But to generate again a new or another G3P, some of it goes back to generate RABP and combine with CO2 to start the overall cycle again and again. Since a 1 G3P requires 9 ATP and 6 NADPH. This phase is called the regeneration of RABP, which is a last phase of the Calvin cycle. What are all the byproducts of light-independent reactions and light-dependent reactions? The byproducts of light-independent reactions are ATP, NADPH, and oxygen, while all byproducts of light-independent or light-dependent reactions, they are organic products that will come out like sugars.